Hi, everyone. Welcome to innovationtutorials.com. I'm Dave Verdoon, the creator of the website. Back in 1993, I was working with a consulting firm, and I was introduced to this concept of a structured process for innovation, and I've been totally hooked ever since. So this introduction video is going to give you a very brief overview of what we call systematic innovation, and it is an appropriately structured framework and set of practical tools anyone can use to create or improve products, processes, or services that will deliver new value to your customers. So before I get in further into this topic, I want to give you a quick illustration and try to make a very important point about inventive thinking. And this is a challenge that you can play along with. So this illustration involves a thoroughly mixed deck of cards, regular deck of cards, no camera tricks at all, and we're going to split them into two exact piles, 26 cards each. And what your challenge is to determine the probability from 0 to 100% that the number of red cards in pile 1 will be exactly the same as the number of black cards in pile 2. What is the probability? Okay, this is a completely normal deck of cards. It's already shuffled, but we'll shuffle it again just to make sure. Do one of these, and we'll do one of these. Not a very good shuffler, but you want to make sure that these are completely random. Okay, so now we're going to split into two equal piles, 26 cards each. There we go. And the question is the number of red cards in pile 1 equal to the number of black cards in pile 2? So if you'd like to play along, pause the video right now and see if you can come up with a number from 0 to 100 to represent that probability. So how confident are you in your answer? What method did you use to determine that probability? Was it simple reasoning, logic, maybe a best guess? Or did you just skip the pause like most of you did? I know. But congratulations to those of you who actually tried the challenge. So just like most problems, this challenge seems to be pretty tough at first glance. But what you probably already know about problem solving is that if you use a proven methodology or process or best practice or a science, that makes problem solving much easier. Now, in this particular card problem, we use the science of math, algebra to be exact, which will make it very easy to solve this probability problem. So here is the math. You can check it out. And we find out that B2 equals R1, which means there's a 100% probability that the number of black cards in pile 2 is exactly equal to the number of red cards in pile 1. So let's see if that's actually the truth. Let's see how many red cards are in pile 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so now the question is, are there 12 black cards in pile 2? Boy, there better be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there you go. Math works every time. So the learning point of this illustration is that science and methods can make problem solving much easier. And the point of that clearly carries over to innovation. Just like science and methods can solve probability problems, there's a science and a proven methodologies to solve innovation problems or innovation challenges. So these methodologies, best practice, inventive principles, and skills are needed for innovation and value creation. And the best part is they can be learned by anyone. So what you'll learn on the tutorials on this site will take you way beyond classic brainstorming and trial and error for your innovation challenges. Brainstorming can be very effective, but has a lot of inherent flaws. And trial and error is inefficient for most real problem solving. So there is a science and a set of methods to bring forth innovation. Matter of fact, the very first book I ever saw on innovation was back in 1993, and it was titled Creativity as an Exact Science. That was a book about trees, a Russian methodology for innovation, and the author was Genrich Altschuler, who was the guy who created trees. So we could debate for hours about whether innovation is a science or not, but I think most of you know that there's dozens of innovation best practices out there, the tools, methods, and skills that are used by industry leaders. And they're consistently used by industry leaders, and that's how they remain ahead of the competition. So here's a short video that introduces the 8-step process. When it's done, I'll have a couple of closing comments, and then you can get on to navigating the Innovation Tutorials site.
Our 8-step framework integrates a menu of inventive thinking best practices into a process we call systematic innovation. Step 1 is all about understanding your customers. Not only do we explore the customer's need, but we go well beyond what they can articulate in order to discover those latent and unmet needs. We actually recommend going beyond the classic VOC tools and introduce about a dozen additional methods to get a better handle on the customer's current and future requirements. Whenever I introduce Step 2, I always think about one of Einstein's classic quotes. He was quoted as saying, "If I had 60 minutes in order to solve a problem my life depended on, I'd spend 55 minutes studying it and 5 minutes solving it." That's exactly what we're trying to do in Step 2, is we're trying to step back a little bit, turn up the power of the microscope, and very deeply understand the highest priority customer requirements from Step 1. To get that deep understanding, we leverage a few function modeling techniques. Some of them are very simple and some of them are much more complex. Now, before going on to Step 3, it's important to understand that this deep analysis of requirements can sometimes be skipped when you have a crystal clear understanding of the problem or opportunity statement from Step 1. Step 3 uses our unique tool selection matrix. It's going to help you pick the best idea generation or problem-solving tool for the specific situation that you have. This is done by identifying your specific challenge from a predetermined list of 10 common innovation scenarios. It then shows you which of the 36 idea generation and problem-solving tools best address and are most applicable for your specific situation. At Step 4, we simply use the tools selected from Step 3 to generate new ideas. As I already mentioned, there are 36 methods to choose from that cover technological and psychological inventive thinking techniques. Step 5 uses a different set of tools to synthesize, select, and narrow the list of concepts from the ideas generated in Step 4. Tools that can be leveraged in this step are the Ease Impact Matrix, the 9-box, Pew Concept Selection, multi-voting, and a few other decision-making techniques. Step 6 is about the detailed design, engineering, and execution of the concepts chosen to take forward. Step 7 is about communicating value and selling your ideas, both internally and externally. Step 8 is about standardization. With any project that uses a new process, thought should be given to integrating and adapting those best practices into the organization's way of doing business. This flowchart and the tools mentioned in it should be thought of as a menu of tools, techniques, and processes that can now be integrated into the way you develop products in your company. Now, we all know that understanding customer needs is a never-ending process, so we must continually loop back and revisit our customers to gain new insights and figure out how to create new value for them. So that's your quick elevator pitch introduction.
Yeah, and here's a little word cloud that we put together on our site, to talk about the different skills in your innovation toolbox. And as you can see, there's all kinds of different skills. And if you cursor over, you can
highlight the memorable sensory experience, separation principles, QFD for the front end, requirements planning, technology DNA, lead user research, TILMAG, painstorming, scientific effects, trimming technique, knowledge mining, cost reduction catalyst question, VOC opportunity matrix, challenging your assumptions, the Kano survey, the Kano model, analytic hierarchy process, the cage model, trimming technique, value engineering. So there's all kinds of different skills that you can use in that 8-step process. And over time, we're going to be adding videos or tutorials on all these techniques.
I've got 3 questions I want you to think about on your spare time. And I love asking these questions to industry because I almost always get exactly the same answers. So question number 1 is, how, on a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being extremely important, how important is innovation to the long-term success of your company? Second question, what are some of the best tools your company uses to innovate? And the third question is, are those tools and methods good enough for your future?